wanted to save some extra time for someone who's going to be an important part of your journey, and it has to do with the iPass clubs, right? You heard us talk about this, right? And here's a good friend of mine that I've known for quite a while. He used to be a gym owner. He used to be someone that was a personal trainer. He used to train mixed martial arts fighters. And he was a guy that I went to several years ago when I kind of got out of shape. Believe it or not, that does happen. And I said, Mark, I need to get back in shape. I need an accountability coach. I need somebody who I can go to that's going to kind of kick me in the rear and get me going, get me up in the morning. And this gentleman I'm going to bring up to you has not only shown that in my life, but I've seen him turn around and do that in other people's life. And he's kind of the guy that likes to give out tough love. You guys know what that is? It's good once in a while, right? He also likes to hold everybody accountable, right? That's good too, isn't it? These are the qualities of a coach and a person that can really help take your business to another level that isn't talking about finances, it's not talking about money, but it's talking about what it's going to take to keep consistent and keep doing what you're doing. I mean, this is a guy that's been successful on his own, and he's always been here at my side to serve, no matter what is going on, no matter what's going on in his life. He's always been there for me, and I wanted to be able to bring him up here so he can speak to you because I think he's going to be a huge asset. He is the coach for the Elite Club. He will be on every week to hold you accountable, to keep you on track, to keep your customers and members on track, but to really get the mindset right so when people are in this business, before they even start advertising or doing anything, that they're in the right place in their mind. And there's nobody else I can think of better than to have this position than my good friend, Mark Dale. So please, a round of applause for Mark Dale.
It's go time, yeah? Yeah! Woo-hoo! One, 2, 3, fight! Yeah! Woo! I gotta stretch out a little bit, guys. It's crazy. Yeah. Okay, look. Let me clear up a few things with you right now.
Many of you are like me. Matter of fact, all of you are like me, right? I was in the bar last night. There were these two really loud, overly sized women chatting away, and I said, "Hey, are you ladies from Scotland?" And one of them turns around and she goes, "No, Wales, you idiot." I said, "Oh, are you two whales from Scotland?" I don't remember a fucking thing after that. Don't ask.
Clear up a few things with you right now. I was at the bar last night. I walk into the bar, and there was these two big Scotland whales kicking Aaron Rashkin's ass. You should have seen it. I'm just saying. Let me clear something else up. All right. So, this is my boy Gus. He is a very highly trained stunt dog. He knows exactly how to do this. We've been practicing. You see that? That's your apple. See the apple? So, I talked to him. I said, "Look, Gus, we're going to go out to the target. You're going to sit down. We're going to put this apple right on top of your little doggy head, and we're going to shoot the apple from here with an arrow with no feathers. What do you think of that?" And he's like, "Heck yeah, Dad, bring it on," right? It was something like that, wasn't it? So I'm going to walk him out there. So let me move this camera. Allegedly, I shot arrows at my dog. Anybody see that? I was making my point. I shoot archery. I've been shooting archery for 25 years. I was making my point. If you're an elite level member in Empower Network, you can go to the back office, log in, go to the training center, click the Elite Club, hit that replay button, and deal with me there. Yes, I was shooting my bow. Yes, there was my dog involved. Yes, there was an apple on his head involved. And let's just leave it at that. I'll clear up one more thing.
Sales systems, and trust me, when we were building the new version of iPass, I went in and actually I called, what was it, Tara. I said, Tara, I want to join this MLM, this, it was like 10 MLMs, okay? I said, I just want to look at their back offices. I want to see what field they're playing in, all right? I went in there, and mind you, I got like tons of energy drinks in the mail, bunch of protein powder, and I still have it in my fridge. In fact, Mark Dale, wherever he's at, I pawned off a bunch to him because it was disgusting. And he's like, oh, this is good. I'm like, okay, it's free. But the purpose of that was to kind of just see what the game is like, because I wasn't sure.
Clear up one more thing. Jones, he texted me. He's like, yo, come on over. What's up? What are you doing? Or blah, 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 right? I'm like, I don't know. What's up? He's like, I got something for you. I'm like, cool, right over. I mean, is this like a now thing or whenever? He's like, no, whenever you're around. Because my wife and I own a gym in Minnesota. It's only about 2 miles away from Jones's place, so I figure I'll just shoot over there after I'm done with the gym. And I come on over there. He's like, yo, whatever. That's just what we do. And he's like, I got something for you. I'm like, what is it? And he points to the stack, these flats of protein shakes. You guys remember when he was saying that, right? They're everywhere. And when he was saying, yeah, I joined all these MLM companies to do some research, and I got this whole house full of all this protein shakes and cleanses and all these whatever, right? Yeah. So he's like, yo, you can have a couple of these flats. I'm like, giddy up, right? I'm like, that's nice. Little did I know behind it, he's like, because he already had one. He knew it was like Gag-a-Maggot vanilla flavor something, right? And I'm like, so I go walking into it. I'm like, I snap one open, give it a little shake like this and pop it and try to go after it. And then when you go after it, you just didn't realize you're supposed to shake it up like paint because it had the chewies at the bottom. And they're all those, yeah, feel me. So he snuck that in on me. I'm like, oh, he's going to pay for that. And I'm like, dude, this is, He's like, yo, just bring it to your gym and give it out to everybody. I'm like, are you trying to make my place die? Are you trying to have everybody kill me? Are you trying to get me? So thank you for letting me clear a few things up. Aaron, yeah, we'll talk about that later. Yeah, no. Gosh, I got to tell you, I want to bring a few things up. I got 3 things mostly on my mind, so I'm going to stumble and bumble and fumble just a little bit, but I'll get through it. But I talk real fast, so I apologize to the translators back there. I want you to think right now, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to think of your top 4. I want you to think of if it's Marvel or DC or if it's any other heroes, the superheroes, the stuff like that. I want you to think of your top 4. You know what I mean? I want you to think, well, who's my top favorite 4? Who am I a combination of? If I could pick my 4 favorite superheroes, who would it be? And we'll debate all those tonight at the party to see who's, this is when Jones and I were debating on this stuff. So I'm going to give you an example. My number 1, Superman. Right? That's just my number 1, my favorite superhero. That's my number 1. My number 2, my Norwegian heritage requires me to choose Thor. Got it? So Thor's my number 2. My number 3 is my patriotism and the fact that I hate bullies is Captain America. Number 3. My number 4 is Iron Man. Okay? That's my top 4. Now, not everybody picks a top 4. I say, Jones, and we're lifting. I said, Jones, who's your top 4? He goes, that's easy, Mark, no problem. Superman, Dr. Manhattan, I know. Wolverine and Hulk. I'm like, you're screwed up. What are you doing? I said, who's Dr. Manhattan? Like you all did. Unless you're a complete nerd who knows who Dr. Manhattan is. All right? I didn't know who Dr. Manhattan was. I'm like, who's Dr. Manhattan? He's like, he's the best. He can manipulate things on a molecular level. He just does all this stuff, and then he can just have his way with whatever it is. I said, well, Thor's going to kick his butt. He's like, there's no way Thor's going to kick his butt. I said, my number 2 will take your number 2 all day long. So you know how we just get into the debate of who's got a better superhero list. And my Thor's going to take on his Dr. Manhattan that I don't even know who Dr. Manhattan is other than what he's telling me. He's like, there's no way you're going to get Thor's going to beat Dr. Manhattan. I'm like, of course, all day long and in his sleep with one pinky and a hammer. Thor's going to wail on Dr. Manhattan. I don't even know who Dr. Manhattan is, but Thor's can take him. I told you, Mark, he can manipulate everything over. He has dominion over the earth, and he can manipulate molecular structure on earth. I'm like, okay, cool. I know you told me that. That's why I'm telling you Thor's going to kick his ass, because Thor's not part of earth. He's not from earth. These are the debates we have in the gym. I'm like, no, my list can kick your list's butt. Think of that. I want you to think of your top 4 superheroes. We're going to talk about that. You heard the music. I'm waiting for a hero. One of the best songs in Footloose, one of my favorite ones. But we're going to be talking about heroes. Where are they? Okay. I also want to talk a little bit about, I would ask the production, if you have that slide that was showing the list of the clubs, the basic, the elite, the 6-figure, and the 7-figure black. If you have that, if you could just put it up real quick, if you can find that. If not, this is what's on my mind with this. I want to share with you. I said, Jones, what do you want me to tell these people that are at the elite level that are Empower Network members? They only own the blog and they only own this inner circle. What do you want me to do with them? He said, Mark, just be you. I said, you sure? He said, yeah, man, just do you. I said, well, any other guidelines or restrictions? He said, well, they need to know why they need to upgrade, so you do have to teach them and help them understand why it's going to be so important to upgrade. And I want you to motivate them to upgrade. I'm like, giddy up, no problem. That's what I do, okay? So as you see this, and if you went through the training, that elite level is my group that I'm in charge of moving up the chain. We have 2 other gals, Marion and Karen. I call Marion Mary Poppins because she's just a sweet little British lady, and she's very proper and prim and stuff like that. And they're in charge of helping the people that are brand new to the business at the beginner club level. They tell them, come on up to Mark, and you're going to start learning a little more things, plus you're going to get the inner circle, and Mark's going to talk to you about a few things. Now, I would encourage all of you to see what my very first webinar was when I'm shooting at my dog with my bow. Joan said, you just do you. So I did me. If you looked at the following, it's my understanding, and I just go by the numbers that they tell me at Empower, is that the majority, I know this room, the majority is not just at that elite level. I know this room is at the higher levels, the 6-figure levels and the black levels. Statistically, this room wouldn't necessarily show up to be influenced by me, okay? But statistically, that's what they say. If you look at the training, about 90% of everybody that's in Empower Network is at the elite level. That's where people go, that's where they go up to, and that's where they stop. So, let me give you an example of the sort of things that I'm going to be talking to people, and let me know and just give me your feedback if you think this might be a good way to kind of talk to these people. I talk to them, and the hard part is I don't talk to them on the phone anymore. I actually have to just talk to them, but I've had so many conversations with all of you directly, is that I talk to these people and I say, you know, you filled out your documentation that shows your dream lifestyle number, right? And they go, yeah, absolutely, Mark. I said, well, share with me what that is. And they let it rip. You know, when you're filling that thing out and you're moving that slider, and I'm like, yeah, I want all this monthly income. And all these people are at $40,000 a month, $50,000 a month, $60,000 a month, $10,000 a month. Some are super humble, and they're like, look, I just want to pay a few bills. If I can make a few $1,000s a month, that's good with me. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's go with that. But the majority of the time, and majority of these times, these people are telling me, well, look, Mark, I want to be at that $10,000 a month range. I'm like, I like it. Nothing wrong with that. I know a whole bunch of people at that level, and I can tell you what to do to get to that level to start you on your way. I said, are you serious? They said, oh yeah, Mark, I'm totally serious. I said, well, don't blow sunshine up my butt. I want to know if you're serious about wanting to make that kind of money. They go, yeah, Mark, I absolutely am. I said, well, you're out of position. Now, I love you where you're at, but you're out of position. And I'm going to be firm enough. You can take that down. I just want you guys to see where I'm at. I'm in charge of all those people at the elite level. It's my understanding 90% of the entire company is at that level. They're all going to be influenced by me. Okay, so you can take that down. Thanks. We'll see. It's only one webinar into it. We'll see how it goes. I'll be their fork in the road. Either they're going to go up and upgrade, or they're going to quit. And customer support will hear about, yeah, I was watching Mark, and so I ask them. I say, here's your goals. And we do this in the fitness industry all the time. They're like, well, here's my goals. I'm like, okay. You serious? They're like, yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what to do. And my point is that there's nobody in the company that's making $10,000 or $15,000 a month, okay, with just the blog and inner circle, right? Is that fair? Does that make sense? You need to be in a different position if that's the kind of money you want to make. So I tell them, I'm like, look, you need to upgrade then. It's very important that you get upgraded to get to the right position to meet your income producing goals that you just told me you were very serious about, and I'm taking your word for it. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to hold your feet to the flames. Now, accountability is the one thing I find that as soon as people get it, they don't want it anymore. Accountability is the one thing people come to me and say, yeah, Mark, hold my feet to the flames. I need you to hold me accountable. Like, it's going to get hot. So, if I don't tell them the truth about what they're telling me as their goals, I'm not serving them. I'm not serving you. I'm not speaking the truth. Would you rather me blow sunshine up your butt? Would you rather me just sprinkle fairy dust all over everything and say, yeah, you just keep blogging and you're going to be in position to be able to make $15,000 or $20,000 a month with just selling the blog in the inner circle and make whatever it is nowadays around $87.50 per person. That will be $10,000 income. It's 114 sales a month. You ready? They're like, oh, I didn't know that's... I said, well, we need to fix your position. It's my job as your coach to make sure you're in the best position to succeed and reach the goals you're telling me you want. Right? My job is to help people get in position to succeed in this business. And I'm darn well going to do it. I'm going to serve you guys to get them moving along and moving up the chain. I tell them I expect them to not stay in my elite level very long. This is not where they're going to succeed and reach their goals. They have to get the right tools. So they tell me, Mark, look. I just want to try this thing out and see if it works first before I commit. Right? Anybody else hear that? I hear it all the time. Mark, look. I'm just going to try this thing and see if it works. And if it works, then I'll commit. I said, okay, let's follow your logic on that. Let's follow with what you're saying then. I'm going to go with you on this. Let's play out your logic to the end of your goals. You got yourself a blog. You got yourself an inner circle. You want to see if this thing works before you decide to commit to it financially and upgrade. They're like, yeah, Mark, that's the way it is. If I know it's working, I'm good. Right? I'm like, so what are you going to do to see if this thing works? They're like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do to see. I don't know. I I've never done internet marketing before. I don't know. I said, I know you don't know. I knew you didn't know. But I wanted you to tell me that you don't know what you're going to do to see if this thing succeeds. Right? Mark, I'm not going to commit to the business until I see if it works. I say, I understand your point. I get it. But here's the rub. The beautiful part about our system and the company and the business opportunity and the products is that the products teach you how to succeed in the business. That is amazing to me. When Jones told me back in the day when I started, I said, Chris, teach me how to be an internet marketer. He's like, cool, get all these products from Empower Network. I said, okay, was that like a soap or lotion? How does that work? What is that? No. Here's what he said. And he's thinking entrepreneurially. He said, it doesn't matter what the products are, Mark, just get them. You got to get them. I'm like, well, okay, what are they anyway? Just for fun, just tell me what they are. He said, well, there's education. It's education that teaches you and I how to do the business. I'm like, okay, cool. I said, I can handle that. I said, people pay for education all the time. They call it college. People buy college stuff all the time. Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars they spend on education. I said, so you're telling me we're going to go into the business of selling products and they're going to pay us for the products that teach them how to do the business they just bought into, and it goes full circle, and that's amazing. I said, that's effing brilliant. He's like, yeah, it's great. I said, well, that's cool. Well, how much is it? And he tells me the amount. And I said, well, I didn't have that at the time. He said, that's okay, Mark. No sweat. Come back when you do. Just letting you know how this went. He didn't say, well, you can just come in and be an affiliate and get the blog. He knew my future before I even got started. That make sense? And the people that are successful in this, we know the future of the people coming in before they even start, and we know that they need to be committed to the top, to the hilt, to learn how to do the business, because once you buy the products, you learn how to do the business, and you're on your way to success. Right? But they go, no, they go donkey-legged right there, and they say, no, I'm not going any further. No. It's one of those scam things, and I'm not going to commit financially to this thing until I can be satisfied that it is not a scam and that I can do it. I said, well, what are you going to do? They're like, I don't know. I said, I know you don't know, because you don't own the other products that teach you how to do the business. I said, so did you go to college? They're like, yeah, I went to college. I said, well, did you take the full 4 years, or were you on the 6-year plan, or the 8-year plan, or what were you on? Well, I did 4 years. I said, well, how much was it? They said, whatever. I said, great, well, let me ask you this. Under your point of view and your logic, and I'm going to continue following your logic, couldn't you have just told the college, I just want to come to college for 2 months to see if this thing is going to work out, and I'm only going to commit financially this much to college, and then if I don't get a job and I start making money and this college education hasn't been successful, I'm not going to pay an upgrade to the rest of the classes for the remainder of the 4 years. They're like, no, Mark, that doesn't work that way. You can't do that. I'm like, no kidding. I go, that's what you're saying. Concept. So people start thinking, well, okay, now they start getting it. They start understanding it. And now what we really, really do is we start unfolding what the real problem is. They just don't believe they can do the business. Fair enough? Fair enough. They just don't believe they can do the business. My job is to inspire them so they do understand they can do this business. Because if a stupid 47-year-old gym owner, Norwegian in Minnesota, can do this business, anybody can do this business. I didn't know anything about internet marketing. I'm an old dog that's going to learn some new tricks. Can't even wait to hear how to do Periscope, because I will Periscope live from the gym on leg day with Jones, because he doesn't lift as much as I do. And I'll just have my phone here. I'll be like, yo, what's up? And he'll be like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing, man. Just keep going. And you guys will be hitting all those hearts. Is it hearts? They heart ya? And we'll be live from the gym. Everybody be like, yo, is that Jones? I go, yeah. Because you said you could do that. I'm like, cool. Put live presentation in my hand and turn me loose, see what happens. It's about to get real. About to get crazy in here. Oh my gosh. So the accountability, let's go back a little bit on accountability. you know how Facebook right now, Facebook is sending you what happened a year ago or 2 years ago. Is anybody else getting that, or is that just me? They said, oh, here's what happened a couple years ago, and they show a picture. Happened to me yesterday. There was a picture. It was my first event that Chris brought me up on stage in Dallas, Texas in October 2 years ago. Any of you remember that when I was talking about attitude, putting this hat on front and back? Okay. So I remember I was sitting in the audience. I had Jones to my left, Lawrence Tam to my right, and his wife next to her, and I remember the entire thing. Jones is on my left, Lawrence is on my right. Ian Paul was up on stage talking, and I'm just soaking everything in. And Paul, at the time, if you remember this or not, you had said something about, look, guys, look to the person to your left, and look to the person on your right, and tell them to get their crap together. It was something like that, right? So, look to the person on your left, I look at Jones, and I look at Lawrence, and I'm going, you want me to tell these two to get their crap together? In my head, I'm like, hell yeah, duh, that's what I do. I look at Jones, I'm like, look, man, I've been meaning to tell you something. The only reason I didn't bust Lawrence's butt is because his wife was chewing in his ear. He was on her left, so she was already giving him an earful. It was funny. I was like, oh, leave him alone. It looks like he's taking the hits. I was like, okay. It was fun. I had a good time doing it, but I look at Jones. I go, you need to get it together, buddy. He's like, shut up. It's just an exercise. I go, yeah, for you. I said, I take this serious if you don't start listening to me. So what I'd like to say is, has anybody seen any improvement over Chris and Lawrence over the last 2 years? Well, of course we have. So clearly, my coaching works. It's what I do. Bust people's chops. I do it with tough love. As the son of a high-ranking naval officer, I was born and grew up into the Navy. All right? I was born, grew up in yes sir, no sir. And the other part of that was my father went 3-4 tours of Vietnam, and all we heard, my big brother and I, was from my mom. She kept saying, wait till your dad gets home. Ooh. So we'd perk right up and try to do a do-over and make good with her, and I blamed everything on my brother, and he blamed everything on me, so we could keep her snowed like that, right? But what the heck was I talking about? The Navy. What was I talking about before that? Something like that. Sorry about that. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Accountability. Thank you. Accountability. Absolutely. I grew up in tough love. Okay? I grew up in a look, you either do it right or you don't. You either, there's actually winning and losing in the sports I grew up in. There was winning and losing. We didn't actually get a participation award. They didn't have that. They had a first place, a second place, a third place, and a fourth place. Well, guess what? The world has winners and losers. And if you're not prepared to face that truth, and you always got a ribbon for participating, you're in for a bit of a rude awakening. Fair enough? Let's talk about being a hero for a little bit. I've talked to Chris about this, and Chris and I go back and forth on this a little bit. And he told me this one time. He said, Mark, I was at the Mall of America, and my son Gavin saw me from a distance. He saw me, and he started running. Daddy, 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 daddy. He said it was the best feeling I have when my son comes running to me yelling, daddy, 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 daddy. So I wanted to get more use out of it than just like tonight at the party. And it's my number 4. I said, Chris, your job is to be his hero his whole life. Your job as the dad is to be your son's hero his whole life. That's your job. He goes, I know. I go, I'll be here to remind you. Love it. He's like, yeah, I know. I said, you have to continue to always be the hero in his eyes. And I'm telling you right now, the lady in your life wants you to be her hero as well. I'll throw this out there right now, boys. Okay, let me back up a second. If you want to get pictures of this, here's the content. Go ahead and get your picture now. I'll tell you what you cannot do with it. But you can at least get one if you need one. I'll hold on to this for just about 4 more seconds, and then I'll tell you what you cannot do with it. Oh, jeez. I want to talk to the men, because I remember Layla was talking to the ladies. Men, you need to step it up. Men, it's your job to be the hero. We can debate it all day long, maybe later, but I believe society is starting to try to castrate you boys from being the hero. I read an article in the New York Times that said something about the New Age man or the whatever, something. There was a spot in there that said you could be the small spoon and your wife can be the big spoon and she can spoon you for your emotional support and physical protection. I know you ladies are like, yeah, girl power, we could be the protector. No, not in my world, not in my bed. I'm not the small spoon. I can't even be the small spoon. I'm reading the article like, what the heck is that? And it goes on and on and on and on and on to continue to feminize my junk. I'm just telling you what the article said. It said I'm supposed to be a new, or whatever it was, I forget the name of the article, but I'm supposed to treat all my guests with proportionally sized melon balls from my melon baller because if I'm a new man or whatever, I own a melon baller. I'm like, the fuck is a melon baller? I had to look that up. I didn't even know what it is. I didn't even understand what a melon ball, I'm like, there's no way. I'm old school. I am not. Can you imagine? You guys don't know my wife, Terry, but if I said, Terry, I really want to be the small spoon tonight. Is there any way you could kind of... What? I get the new age stuff. I get it. I get all that. That's fine. It's just not me. I can guarantee you that's not me. It's never going to be me. I'm masculine. That's all there is to it. And I grew up through hero training. My elite club level will be hero training. Chris came to me after lifting. He's like, can you coach this group? It's the biggest group in Empower Network. I trust you with them. I'm like, I'd be honored. I'd be honored. I look at you guys. I owe you. I owe you to serve you. I am here to make sure that the people that come to me understand with a little bit of heavy, tough love because it's just based on fact, it's based on truth. You can't make the kind of money you're wanting me to tell me you want to make at this level. You cannot stay here and expect to have the success you're telling me you want. You just can't do it. You need to move on. It's not to say you won't see me again. It's to say that you need to move up to Alex. And you need to get the next products. Move them up the chain. And I tell them I will be talking to you a little bit differently at the black card level too. But right now, what I've got to say to your ears is elite club level expectations. And I will be your hero for them. I will be their hero to help them go through this business. But here's my challenge to you. You guys ever watch those movies? You know, like Superman or Thor, they have all that stuff. You guys, this is the script. Remember yesterday when they did the cast of characters? You guys, wasn't that cool? It was the Disney improv actors that were here to do that. And when they come up here, and for the first time that day, they see Tracy and the lady playing, it's like, you got a bad shirt on. I saw that kind of snap to you. You're like, oh, you got the finger shake. But they were having fun with it. But I saw this near the garbage back there yesterday, and since it's after the skit, I took it and put it in my pocket. And here's the characters. Right? You guys remember this? The characters. The narrator, the system, who was the bad guy, the well-intentioned mother. Do you have music back there? Could you? And then they have you, which was that Mark guy. Mark, okay? And then they have the hero. And then it goes on and explains, who's supposed to say what they say within reason, within improv guidelines. The system interrupts Mark, tells him he can't do it. Talks about the golden rules. You need to go to school. You need to get good grades. You need to go to college. All that system stuff. Mom is trying to be well-intentioned by telling her son to just go to school, just get a job, be safe, get some benefits. And then it comes in toward the end here. Mark, you. Mark flip-flops between self-doubt and being defeated. Quote, I'm not good enough. Maybe I can't do it. I'm not smart enough. I don't deserve it. And I'm not strong enough. If that's you, and it says suddenly the hero shows up. This is the theme from Superman. It makes me incredibly emotional. It makes me want to combat, to fight, as a hero should, as Superman does. I laugh when I get emotional. It fires me up, because it's coming. When Jones and I, the last couple years, every time we go to the office, all we're playing is that Hans Zimmer music, soundtrack. We're playing, we both are just like total superhero nuts. We're always playing this stuff around the office all the time. My challenge to you is, if you choose to accept it, boys, you gotta be that hero. You have to be the hero. You have to be the hero. Your family's expecting you to be the hero. Traditional or not, I don't care, but she is expecting and hoping and looking and praying for you to be the hero. That's what she wants. I'm telling you, be
the hero. And you'll be just fine. You guys. That's my challenge to you. I dare you to accept you stepping into being your own hero. Show up to the business and do it. When your people come to me, I will encourage them to move up. And it makes sense that as people move up and they start doing the business and their people come to me, I'm going to tell them to move up. Wait till you see some of the motivation on why they need to get moved up. Because if I move them up from my influence and you're not in position over there to reap the rewards of your hard work, you're going to lose out on a lot of money. It'll make sense to them that they'll want to move up. Now, that Facebook or that picture, you have my permission to post it on Facebook. Here's the conditions. Just for fun, you have to say, look, tag me or not, I don't care, whatever, but here's the point, is say, wait till you see me now. I'm a combination of 1, 2, 3, 4. Consider me a combination of Superman and Captain America and Thor and the Iron Man. When you see me, that's what you get. That's what you get. Deal with that. I'll love you where you're at. But I'm going to serve you guys best I can. I'm absolutely going to serve you. I will do my best to represent the company and be your hero at the elite card level and get everybody moving up because that's good for everybody, you guys. I cannot even thank you enough for taking the time to hear me out. Can we play that Footloose again? I like that one. Can we play that Footloose again? As soon as you hear it, you guys are on your feet. If we can get it. That one's good too, isn't it? I like that one. Yeah, everybody up. Come on now. I'm done. My time is done.